Oh, well, all right, y'all. So, welcome back to Love 24 Hours here, where we review content that could either brighten or enlighten your day. All right, y'all. So, shout out to the entire Love Tribe. Yeah, we're gonna keep it short and cute today. So, yeah, so let's just go ahead and jump straight into the video.
Anything I want is coming to me. The abundance is real, the abundance is free. Money flowing, they grow, I'm just under the tree. Hottest under the sun, I'm 103. I get it done, give you something to see. You can come where I'm from if you want to release. You should jump when it's bump if you want to increase. Spirit numbers, they be coming in threes. Three. Young Mellow will if you want, I can show you. I'm showing love and I don't even know you. I went from local to postal to global. From I don't know you to bro, you the go-to. It hit different when you see the difference. I do business, I distance from bickering. If you missing, then you wasn't meant for this. If you mention this, then don't forget the gift. This a hit for hit, this ain't a hit or miss. If you listen, then this finna get you rich. You the money, the bag, you the benefits. Ay. Way up. When you up on the list, then you get the pick. You can get with this if you can get a lift. Once you vision it, live as it did exist. When you get it, you get the significance. I admitted this shit get meticulous, but to not want to get is ridiculous. If you broke, then I think you should get it fixed.
There's a peculiar magic in realizing you're not the same person who started the journey. It's not a loss of who you were. Rather, it's an evolution into the person you were always meant to become. Embrace the transformation.
I'll let you in on a secret. Life is better when you make space for what you love. This world will rob you of every ounce of happiness that you possess if you let it. You have to be intentional about giving yourself something to look forward to.
There are 3 reasons why it's so difficult for the mind to stop doing what it's doing and to come out of these negative thought loops. Your mind becomes fixated on what you don't want to happen. And the universe doesn't understand the word don't. It hears or sees what you're focusing on, so just a subject. So when you say, I don't want ice cream, because the universe heard ice cream, so now you create ice cream. And so you do this in so many different areas of your life, and honestly, it becomes second nature for people to where they don't even realize that they're doing this.
My grandma worked at the USIA for 44 years with, not the entire 44 years, but very quickly earned a top security clearance. She was an editor and a very, very smart woman. But I remember back in the 80s, her telling me that way back when, in the United States, they cut down all of the female trees because they didn't want people to get free food. And they replaced them with male trees, which pollinate and cause allergies in order for collaborating companies to sell antihistamines, which antihistamines, according to the CIA and any other professional source that has done remote viewing, basically affect your ability to remote view. They cause severe issues when you're trying to do anything out of body. I'm not saying what's what. That's just what she told me. Grandma was a very smart woman.
People assume that if you're into alternative spirituality or metaphysics or anything like that, that you're out there burning candles on people and doing rituals and putting curses on them. Little do they know that a true healer, a true spiritualist don't have the time or the energy. The real hate is coming from that evil eye that those family members are giving you. That's just as strong as any ritual.
I will send people your way to actually be the doorway to the big things, but you actually have to accept the help of those people. And this is a prophetic word for a lot of you. God sent a lot of people, and they're God sent, but your trauma actually blocked what God sent. Sometimes God sent an anointing, somebody like Samuel, to pour oil on you, but because of your disobedience or your hurt, you actually block the blessings that you had because you assume that they're gonna hurt you too. Oh, so just like God is appointing you to be an answer to somebody's prayer, somebody is an answer to your prayer. Don't think it's a one-sided, oh, God has great works for you. No, God has to have great works for others. And sometimes he has great works for others to influence your life. Too much is given, much is required. But the wise learn how to seek counsel. A lot of you have been hurt for so much that you don't seek counsel nor assistance. So God isn't able to bless you. Sometimes God's blessing on your life is actually on somebody else's anointing. But no man is an island, so when you desert yourself from people, thinking that now you can't get hurt, you're actually hurting yourself because you don't realize that God actually prepared them just so that they can tell you something.
To let y'all know, there's a young man in Mississippi. When I need water, I have to actually walk to the store, y'all, and get the water. So I'm just leaving Family Dollars, and I saw 2 for $7, and I have to walk all the way back to the house. I stay by myself. And you say, do you have family? Of course, but my mama, she stay on the other side of town. Why would I call her? And I don't complain. I just say, Lord, I thank you that I'm able to walk. Lord, I thank you that the water was 2 for $7. Even though I don't really have the strength to carry 2 cases of water all the way back to the house, I'm just so thankful and grateful, y'all, that God lowered the price of the water. And I just wanted to let y'all know there's a young man in Mississippi. He's grateful. He's thankful. And whatever you going through, remember there is somebody in Mississippi, when they need water, they just thank God that they able to walk to the store. I just thank God I'm able to walk on my own. I'm able to pick up the 2 cases of water and walk for about 30 seconds, then pause. Walk for another 30 seconds, then pause. So be encouraged. Be encouraged. I'm not going to always be like this, y'all. My story not going to end like this, baby. I will be a billionaire. The story will change. And I only share this to encourage somebody. 2 cases of water, y'all. You got to praise them no matter what you're going through, baby.
I will give $10,000 to anybody that can prove me wrong here. I promise you won't. So I'm reading through old CIA files. Here's a good starter, is just the CIA basically, in their words, not mine, showing that a brainwave can turn into a particle just like a radio wave turns into a photon. Turns out this explains the whole universe, far beyond most people's comprehension. I'm going to explain it in my best layman's terms. Stick around for maybe 2 minutes and this will make way too much sense. So to start, I was reading a declassified document on warp drives. That's weird. Basically, bending space in one way and at a higher point in another causes space and time to move around you. Those don't seem really interlinked yet until you start understanding that space and time is its own dimension. And you look at some of their summaries of this, and this was written in the 80s. It was a concept, but it's talking about the Large Hadron Collider, like what CERN does. And I mean, I've seen so many articles on CERN people saying that their collider is haunted, like there's a specter in there. It's weird. Forget all that. It's just interesting to think about. Now we go to a file like this, where they're studying research in human paranormal abilities. So think about the gateway process. I did a video on this. I did 2 videos on these concepts. Watch them first. They're pinned, or just watch this one. I'll do my best to explain it. But this is basically the 4th dimension. This is a tesseract in 4D. Think about Interstellar at the end when he goes in the black hole and he's manipulating the past. How is that scientifically sound? It wasn't until now. Now here's another one of those that would make more sense to us. Picture this is your future, say it's a kitchen, this is your present, your bathroom, and this is your living room, which is the past, like your house. But they're all moving by a default of nature and intersecting at different points. So when he enters the black hole and goes into Murphy's room, he's not in the third dimension anymore, he's in the fourth. Therefore, he can manipulate the past, backed by science. So how does this explain the universe and human paranormal abilities? So when you map out something like the flower of life, which I have a video on also pinned, watch it or don't, you get something like a torus, which also explains electromagnetic fields. This was not proven until we discovered that the platypus can detect who is what with its beak because of these fields. It goes underwater, its eyes and ears shut down, it's blind and deaf, yet it can pick up electromagnetic fields from your brainwaves enough to know friend from food. And again, these brainwaves turn into particles. We're starting to kind of get somewhere here with how does all this work? There's 5 dimensions. Now here is a good example of all of these, but it's 2D. It's, we can't really map that out. We can't perceive it. But picture line, dimension 1, square, dimension 2. That would be where we live. You can go up, down, left, right, forwards, and backwards. It's 3D. Then you have the 4D, which was the tesseract I just showed earlier, Murphy's room. And then a 5-dimensional cube, which turns into a light hologram. What the fuck is a light hologram? First, just understand how dimensions work. If you had an anthill, a pet anthill, in a 2D space, it could never know you exist because it can't perceive you. So you dump a bucket of water on it, and it's like their whole world flooded as an act of God. It's interesting to think about, but just follow it here. Us living in the 3D could never perceive this or this. But we have proof that this exists because we have space and time and ways to manipulate it. So now we look back to these CIA files, and they show even in the 19th century that physicists knew that the 3D was not enough to prove the fundamentals of life, of nature. And they go on to say that it's more so our consciousness projecting thoughts out that affects our reality. How does that work, and why does this make sense? They're actually all very interconnected. And again, really weird that the oldest history we have, people knew this, but this is that flower of life I'm talking about overlaid on a quantum carpet, which is used to measure density and spaces between particles. So these guys knew something we didn't, and they figured it all out with circles. The government knows it, and most of us don't. And frankly, it's pretty damn confusing until someone explains it out, but if you stick around, this will make too much sense. So picture something like this being the universe we live in, projecting light inwards. Our consciousness would be a part of that because we're creating particles with our thoughts, whether we can see them or not. Kind of goes over the science of manifesting, also heavily seen in the gateway files. It's weird. It is super weird, but it concretely proves that we live in a 5-dimensional reality, and by physics and getting as far down as the quantum level, it's a hologram of light. And again, the platypus proves this. So do these gateway files and even our ancient history. We live in a hologram of light. I'm not saying this. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm just reading off these files. We live in a hologram of light, and we produce electromagnetic impulses through our brain, through our heart, that can directly input on our reality. So now you think about stuff like fear-mongering, little out there, but follow me. If we're all focused on something bad is going to happen. Then you look at stuff like an eclipse or the fucking war on drugs. I mean, all these different things, and it creates fear, it creates hate. Okay, follow me. If everybody loved more, it would directly change this, because as a collective, we have more power than as a singular being. I mean, I know tons of people who would talk about manifesting. In fact, all of my rich friends swear by it. I'm starting to myself because I see results. It's not one of those things that makes sense until you start looking at the science. But it's weird. Just really think on this for a minute. Follow dimensions upwards, and it's irrefutable. 10 grand. Prove me wrong. You won't. Also, if you made it this far in the video, you're not here because you think you can win 10 grand. You're here because I put up some of the gateway noises that you can't consciously hear, but your consciousness picks up on. Go listen to those gateway tapes. They will open your mind and change your life. Thank you.
I work at Home Depot, right? So I check out this guy and I tell him his total is $79.11. He hands me a pack of rubber gloves that go down to my elbow, and he said, "Can you put these on for me?" And I said, "You want me to put them on?" And he said, "Yes, please." So I don't know people's situation terms or whatever makes sense in their minds. I put them on. I open it slowly. I take them out slowly. I put them on slowly, make sure it don't touch my clothes, don't touch the counter or nothing. And I hold up my hands after I got them on, and I said, "How will you be paying for this?" He has the most dumbest look on his face, and he said, "I meant on the bill." I said, "Bro, why did you say that?" I look so stupid. And he was just a hee-hawing, and I said, "What was you thinking?" He's like, I thought you was trying them on before I took them home, make sure I didn't have the holes in them. I said, "I look stupid." And he said, "Don't worry, I got the story to tell the boys no."
Symptoms of complex trauma that you can see in people.
So very common ones is that they don't know who they are because they've had to wear masks all their life, and they become people pleasers. Most have anger issues. Most have authority issues because all the authorities of their life have not been healthy. A lot have lying issues. They lie when it was just as easy to tell the truth, but lying is what they had to do to kind of stay safe because truth got them in trouble. There's a fear of failure, a fear even of success, because it's like everything's going too good, something bad is going to happen, so now I better sabotage it.
Wow.
It's a fear-driven thing, the fear of rejection. There's a desire for intimacy, but a fear of intimacy, because then you're going to get to know me. Deep fear of abandonment, that anybody that gets to know me leaves me. All of that becomes problematic in relationship stuff, and then trust issues.
Number of the jokes in most of our popular magazines where they print cartoons have to do with father as a clown, whereas mom has to handle the real problems of the family and is therefore the realist in the picture. Dad is a clown. Why? Because he goes away to a mysterious place called the office or the factory, in which the family as such have no part and no real interest. He brings back a thing called money, and they want more of it, see, back at home. They don't care how you get it, just so long as you bring it back, because they're not interested in what you as a man do. And when you come back from the various rat races in which you are engaged making money, you are supposed to be a good pal to the children. Play with them, look after your wife, and appreciate what she's done all during the day. But they have no interest in what you do. They couldn't care less. And furthermore, you as a father, you as a mother, are expected to live for your children. Americans have an enormous sense of guilt because they have not done right by their children. And they're trying more and more to do right by their children. The difficulty is that the family as an institution is not surviving in industrial culture. It is an institution designed for an agrarian culture. It's fascinating to notice today the transition from agrarian to industrial culture in a country like Japan, where it's been extremely rapid. Let's take the craft of carpentry in Japan. The Japanese have been some of the best carpenters in the world. Absolutely marvelous. Knowing how to make the most complex joinery constructions without even using a blueprint, doing it by feel and by eye. In order to train a person to do this kind of carpentry, he has to begin to learn when he's 7 years old. But as it is now, because Japan has transferred to being an industrial culture, you may not bring up your child in your profession as a carpenter. You have to send the child to school where it can learn to be an insurance salesman. The child gets through school, goes through high school. When the child gets out, it's not interested in carpentry, it's interested in girls. has to fool around with that for a while and then get married and then begin to learn the carpenter's trade, and it's too late to be anything but somebody who follows a blueprint. Therefore, this marvelous craft, which the Japanese cultivated for centuries, is being lost. For what? The man in the family has to go away and earn a living that has absolutely no relation to his living relationship with his wife and his children. And therefore, naturally, he's regarded as a clown. When he comes home, he's not really a very good pal to his children, because the children would find a real relationship with their father in joining in his work with him. Every little child wants to join in his parents' work. They go into the kitchen. They would much rather play with the pots and pans than anything else. They want to help. They naturally want to join in, but they cannot. And therefore, instead of being allowed to join in with the real work of their parents, they are given propitiatory objects called toys. You may have a toy stove. You may have toys, dolls, and pretend that they're babies. You may not actually look after the baby, because there might be an accident. And the children are not satisfied with this. They are absolutely frustrated with it, because all these toys fall apart in a hurry. They don't really work. They don't do what's expected of them. They are not real. And the child knows they're not real. And so as the whole educational process continues, they are educated for unreality, for non-entity. So this is what we do. We send a child into kindergarten, make him literate, more or less, run, spot, run. And then the inducement is, if you learn this, you'll get into first grade. Wowee, if you do well there, you'll get into second grade. And so some of the kind of a come-on. See? You'll go through the step-by-step educational process. There's going to be a big event when you get out of grade school, you go to high school. The pace is coming on now, see? And you're going to get step-by-step up through high school because of something at the end of the line. You haven't got it yet. There's a thing coming. Go to college. Whew. Made it that far. And step-by-step you go on, then you get to graduate school. But if you don't get into graduate school so that you can just stay in the academic scheme of things, you go into business. That's getting out into the world. That's graduation. See, now you're an adult. But then the first thing is you get into a sales meeting, where they say is, make that quota. And if you do, they're going to give you a higher quota. And if that thing is at the end of the line, it's there, and all the advertisements say, well, by the time you earn this and get that, you'll be able to have the right kind of car, the right kind of speedboat, the right kind of track lot, the right kind of clothes and everything, the right kind of drinks, and you'll be there. And finally, you work along at this, you're earnest, and about the year 45, you end up as vice president of the company. You say, I've arrived. I'm there. But I feel vaguely cheated, because I feel just the same as I always felt. I'm there, but I haven't caught up with that thing I was always promised. And suddenly an insurance man comes around and says, wait a minute. You're going to retire at 65. We got a program for you, so that you'll be just right. When you're 65, you'll be able to drop all this business and do what you really want to do. That time you're not interested. Prostate trouble, bad teeth. So you end up feeling you've been cheated. And the reason was simply this: that education was regarded as a process of preparation for something which never happened, never is going to happen. But you were always getting prepared for life. A real education is an entirely different thing. And education, in the real sense, is not preparation for life. It is actually living. It is the child participating in adult concerns, and doing it now, and realizing that the point of the process in which the child is engaged is not to prepare the child for the future, but to enjoy doing the thing today. Because the whole point is that there is no point whatsoever in making plans for the future, except for those people who are capable of living in the present. If you are not capable of living in the present, plans are useless. Because when those plans come to fruition, you will be incapable of enjoying that fruition. But it seems to me that the absolute point of any educational system that has any worth whatsoever is the progressive allowing of children to participate in activities that adults consider real and important. And that should begin very early. Supposing you are making money in a factory, producing something worthless and trashy, but it pays. And you justify this on the grounds that it will give you money to bring up your children to do something better than you are doing. You are fooling yourself. Because your child will copy you. And if you exist simply to bring up your children for something better than you have, then your children will do nothing but exist to bring up their children to do something better than they have. And they'll always be frustrated. If, on the other hand, you are doing something in life, you have a vocation, a work which you're doing, which you are really interested in and which you thoroughly enjoy, and it's this that you live for, and not for your children, then your children will catch your enthusiasm. And they, in turn, will find something that they can live for and be really interested in, and in turn, their children will become interested in it. You should not live for the good of your children. You should live for your own good. And then your children will learn from your example how to live.
That's milk. Now this. Maggie, can you do the banana with me? There's 2 bananas. You, Maggie? You're cooking. I'm making pancakes. Milk, butter, baking soda, cocoa powder. That's decided. Soap.
Y'all like to dance, come on, do the cha-cha. Shorty Spanish, so she like to call me Papa. True fact, everything I do, call it flaca. All they do is copy me, I call them rocker.
Divine partnerships are being targeted by the 3D matrix right now. And what do I mean by divine partnerships? This is a Hieros-Gamos relationship that is based on the male-female principle. This does not apply to same-sex marriages. The male-female principle is the divine union of where the masculine and feminine are fully healed and they are in a spiritual relationship and building a spiritual foundation for their relationship and for their life by bettering themselves and evolving. And in this Hieros-Gamos union, there are infinite number of possibilities. You can create entire empire out of your future lineages. And what's happening is because these Hieros-Gamos unions are so powerful and have the potential to change the timelines of planet Earth, they're specifically being targeted by negative entities from the 3D matrix. And many people may have experienced this in their own lives, where you're just met a partner who's like extremely compatible with you and you guys are getting along just fine. And then there's a glitch that suddenly happens in the relationship where either something distracts you or pulls you out of the relationship, or your partner's ex might just suddenly show up, or something else might happen in their life like that causes them to lose interest in you, or they might develop an interest in someone else that's usually not their personality type. And this is not happening by random. This is happening on a very frequent basis. These kind of relationships are specifically being targeted by the negative 3D matrix because they do not want these twin flame soulmate unions and these Hieros-Gamos unions to take place. They consider them a threat and they want them to proliferate planet Earth. So what happens is that there's many negative entities that are known as succubus or incubus. And these entities are like vampire entities. The succubus exists in the fourth dimension, in the astral realm. But what these entities do is that they latch on to weak individuals, people who are weak-minded, people who have addictions, people who are susceptible to attack. They have a weak auric field, they have weak chakra systems, they have holes in their chakra, or they're not doing enough light work. These kind of people are prone to attack by these succubus kind of energies. And these succubus entities, when they latch onto a person, they are able to manipulate them and infiltrate other sacred relationships where they distract one of the sacred partners away from the other and break up the relationship. You may have experienced this in your own life and you might say, well, this was a lesson that I had to learn and it's not a big deal. I learned my lesson. But I agree that it may be a lesson if it happens once. But if it's happening more than once or twice, if it's happening multiple times, then you need to know that beware, this is a trap of the matrix and you need to do something to protect yourself. So what can you do to protect yourself in this kind of situation? If you are in a divine union, first of all, when you enter a sacred union, it is very important that both partners set an intention for the archangels, ascended masters, and prime creator to surround them with a field of energy or a ball of light. And imagine every night before sleeping, do this meditation. Both partners should do this, where they imagine themselves together and a field of energy, field of angelic white energy protecting them every night. And the more you do this, the stronger this field of protection gets. And also state your intention for this relationship. Intend that may we stay in this relationship for the highest good of each other and for the highest good of humanity. And may this relationship stay strong and stable and loving and compassionate as long as it serves the highest good of both parties involved. And when you state this intention, what happens is that you get more and more divine protection. And you also state the intention that may we evolve through this relationship, and may all the challenges and may all the egoic lessons that arise in this relationship, may they help us rise up higher rather than get stuck in karmic loops and create more karma. So when both parties in the beginning of a relationship, when you know that you want to strengthen your commitment, this is not like a short-term goal, this is a long-term relationship that both want to pursue, then set the intention that you wish to evolve with this relationship, and that way you don't get stuck in karmic loops. So anytime there's negativity or there's arguments or fights, you actually learn, you actually evolve out of it, and you don't get stuck in the egoic realm. So being stuck in the egoic realm can be disastrous for a relationship. Ask for the archangels to bless you anytime there's arguments, anytime there's differences. Separate yourself and go into your heart, go back into the energy of love, compassion, and forgiveness, and then work through the problem rather than make it like who's right and who's wrong. No finger point. Don't go for finger pointing or blame, but know that you are in a divine relationship, then it's worth fighting for, it's worth holding on to, and it's worth developing, because this can not only benefit the two of you, but it can also create very powerful timelines for Earth with the future generations that you create. And also the kind of work that you can do as a twin flame soulmate union can be extremely, extremely powerful and can actually break the matrix and create freedom, love, and peace for generations to come. I love you all.
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you're never gonna believe this. You know the house at the end of the road, one where the old guy lives with gray beard? Next to his house, there is a tree. In that tree, there is another little house. In that little house, there is free food. Now, it's not great food. It's cheaper stuff, I think, but it's free. There's one catch. What? There's one catch. He likes to watch. I don't understand. It's like his hobby or something, but he likes to watch. Sounds too good to be true. What do you call this, Russell? It's free food. I'm going back for more. You guys want to join me? Let's go.
Look. Dog Dusty controller. Picture me. All my wrist is frozen. Cardi my body, I'm chosen. Now I got her wide open. She off the perky.
Hey, I want to submit these photos. Can you get them to Jameson for me?
I got you. You took these?
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
What you take these with?
Oh, this one right here.
You took these with this right here?
Yeah.
You took them with this?
Yeah.
Nah, that's not adding up, Pete. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Yo, come here, bro. Yo, look at these pictures Pete took a Spider Dude.
Oh, Spider-Man?
What? You took this. I'm saying, bro. Nigga, what was you on the air with him? Look at this, Joe. Bro, what is this? You took this. But what? He took it with this right here, bro. Let me see that. He took it with this joint right here, bro. You took him with this. You took him, bro. You took this with that. You took it with that.
Yeah.
Hold on, no. Look at this one. Bro, how you take these? Hey, Jennifer.
Sometimes I let him use the camera to take his own photos.
Okay, so you cool with him for real?
Left pocket full of pink fizzies, right pocket got blues in it. Lord send them packs to me, I know what to do with it. $1,000 shoe, I'm walking on a down house. He ain't running up a bag, he running it down mouth. I'm Mr. Swinger though, Mr. Beat the Road.
Get in my damn coat. Get your ass right my damn coat. Get out my coat.
Lots of us can relate.
All right, y'all. So thank you for joining me today. So it was a pleasure. So enjoy the rest of your day or night or whatever. Love and light to every last one of you. And until the next video, peace out.